We've all been there, right? You've just given a killer presentation, you're feeling good, and then you hear those two little words, "Any questions?" Instantly, that feeling of dread kicks in. Well, today we're gonna flip that script. We're gonna turn that moment of fear into your absolute forte. Let's dive in.
So, picture this. You've just clicked through your very last slide. You've landed your closing line perfectly, and this huge wave of relief just washes over you. The hard part is finally over. Or is it?
And just like that, poof, the relief is gone. The floor opens up for questions, and suddenly all eyes are on you. For so many of us, this is hands down the most nerve-wracking part of the entire thing. But what if we could actually change that? Okay, so the very first step, and honestly this is the most critical one, is to completely reframe how you look at the Q&A session. This is not a final exam. You're not on trial. It's a genuine opportunity, a chance to connect with your audience in a way your presentation alone just can't. This right here is the mindset shift in action. That fear you feel of being judged? Nope, that's actually a chance to build some serious credibility. That fear of losing control of the room? Let's reframe that. It's an incredible opportunity to get immediate, valuable feedback. And that deep-seated fear of being unprepared? That is the fuel you can use to create some real, genuine engagement. You're not just trying to survive the Q&A, you're using it to make your whole presentation stronger. So, how do we actually make that mindset shift happen? Well, it all starts way before you even step on stage. It starts with preparation. Think of it like a pilot's pre-flight checklist. By anticipating what's coming, you can walk into that Q&A feeling confident, not anxious. Here's a little secret for you. Questions are almost never as random as they feel in the moment. In fact, they almost always fall into a few pretty predictable categories. And if you know what the categories are, you can totally prepare for the questions.
First up, you've got your clarification questions. These are the straightforward ones. Somebody just wants you to explain a point in a little more detail or go back to a specific chart. Pretty easy, right?
Next, the challenge questions. Now these can feel a bit intense. They're questioning your data or your conclusions. But look at this as your chance to really prove you know your stuff. This is where you shine.
Then you get the hypothetical questions, the what-ifs. This is actually a great sign. It means your audience is already thinking about how to apply your ideas to their own world, which is exactly what you want. And finally, there are the personal insight questions. This is where they want to know your take, your unique experience on the topic. So, by just anticipating these 4 types, you are already halfway there. See? Not so scary. All right, so knowing the types of questions is one thing, but how do you actually prepare? It's a pretty simple 3-step process. First, go back and review your own material. Be ruthless. Where are the weak spots? What's a little confusing? Second, grab a colleague or a friend and do a practice run. Tell them to hit you with their toughest questions. And third, create a little FAQ document for yourself. The simple act of writing down your answers will help lock them in your brain.
Okay, preparation is done. Now it's showtime. You're on stage, a hand goes up in the audience. Here's how you answer like an absolute pro.
Think of this as your personal answering toolkit. First, and this is so important, actively listen to the entire question. Don't start formulating your response halfway through. Then, take a breath. A brief pause makes you look thoughtful, not nervous. When you answer, be clear, be concise, and drop the jargon. And finally, always acknowledge the person who asked. A simple, "That's a great question," can build instant rapport. Now, for one of the most powerful and maybe a little counterintuitive tools you have, it is 100% okay to say, "I don't know." Seriously, admitting you don't have the answer right there on the spot and then promising the follow-up doesn't make you look weak. It makes you look honest. It makes you look credible.
All right, let's tackle the scenario that everybody fears the most. The confrontational question, the off-topic question, or just that one really difficult inquiry. There is a specific strategy for this, and trust me, it's remarkably effective.
The key is to not get defensive. Don't let yourself get dragged into an argument. Instead of reacting with emotion, you're going to respond with a strategy. It's a simple little technique called the 3 A's. Here is how it works. It's super simple. First, you acknowledge. You validate their concern with a neutral phrase like, "I understand your concern about." Second, you address. Give a very brief, direct answer to their point, but don't get sidetracked. And third, this is the magic part. You advance. You pivot the conversation right back to your core message, and just like that, you've regained control. Acknowledge, address, advance.
It's your secret weapon.
So the next time you finish a presentation, don't think of the Q&A as the final hurdle you have to clear. See it for what it really is. It's the moment your monologue turns into a dialogue. It's your chance to engage, to clarify, and to really make your message stick. The Q&A isn't the end. It's the beginning of the real conversation. And the only question left is, are you ready to lead it?